none more special than him, but they deserve it, and they deserve to be in the title race. And look, he can still come out and say, look, we're not favorites, and Liverpool should be the favorite, but they're in it. There's not going to be no denying that.
A lot of coaches pay lip service to this idea that they trust the players, that they trust in their squad, but then their actions don't support it because they don't actually play the players in the games. He's rotating from the midweek games, the weekend games. He's including everybody. He's showing them that he trusts them. He's made changes before the game today and brought Jadon Sancho and he scored a goal. They're all in a good place, and he's really managing that situation well, and that is not an easy football club to manage.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important to say that just a few months ago, they were the laughingstock. Everybody in the media was saying, what are they doing? What are the ownership doing? And look at them now. So fair play. Tottenham Hotspur, Tim Howard, they're 11th. Up, down, like a kite. Thoughts on Ange Postecoglou's situation?
Well, the seat's gotten hotter. We saw at Bournemouth, yeah, the traveling fans, they weren't happy with him. They won't be happy today, and you can blame the team, of course, but this is what Graham talked about in the game. Chelsea was able to, when they were behind, go forward, press the gas. When they got the lead, they figured out a couple different ways to play. With Ange Postecoglou, it is plan A or nothing else.
Is it going in the right direction under Ange Postecoglou?
No, I think when you start to see Daniel Levy being shown by the cameras, you're pretty much seeing what may happen. I actually really like him. I love watching Tottenham games. I said at the start of this match, we're going to Tottenham 4:30 on a Sunday, but I've been here twice in my life, and on both Super Sundays at 4:30, they've basically had 2-0 leads and they've gone and lost the games. That can't happen. And Tim's just mentioned it, Graham's mentioned it. You have to control and manage football matches. When you're in front of a game, the idea that you carry on playing the same way, you've already won the match. Our manager used to say to us, you've won the match once, you don't need to win it again. Tottenham, it feels like they win the game once and then they lose the game and then they have to go and try and win it again. It doesn't have to be that way.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is where the fracture comes, because those players will know that they're 2-0 up and then they lose, and it will be down to how they play. At a certain point, the players who have a belief in the system are going to start going, hang on, I want to win more than I want to believe in this system.
Okay, loads more to come on this game, the biggest game of...
Tell from the way that you talk about it, it's almost quite innate, it comes naturally to you, but when you're bending down, tying your laces, ready to take that penalty, what kind of thoughts are you getting?
I'm just trying to score and fight for your way in.
He's a man of many words in these situations, but I think it sums up his composure. Just how much of an asset is it to have a player like this in your team? And do you think it breeds a level of confidence among all the players? Is this why we're seeing so many of you chip in now going forward?
Yeah, definitely. We've got amazing players just like Cole. When he scores big goals for us, he calms us all down, and he's been doing it and he keeps doing it, and hopefully it carries on in the future.
And with the goal-scoring form that you have been in, scoring so many across recent games, when you find yourself 2-0 down in games like this, has it give you that undercurrent of confidence that you will find your way back? You can score 3-4?
Yeah, definitely. It's 2-0 down, but, if you look amongst the players, no one was panicking. It's still early on in the game, and we knew it was going to create big chances, and it's down to if we score them or not.
Now just 4 points behind Liverpool, whilst you're both, I think, quite keen to shy away any title talk. This puts you in a great position. You've taken a big opportunity today.
Yeah, we knew with Arsenal drawing and City drawing, we needed to win, and we did.
Your manager will point out that perhaps this isn't your season. You've still got work to progress with those other teams, with your Cities, with your Liverpools, with your Arsenals. But City and Arsenal dropping points again this weekend. It begs the question, you are doing what they're not doing. This is 5 wins in a row now.
Yeah, of course, but we still got so much more to improve on. Like the gaffer said, when we're ready to push for a title, we won't be 2-0 down in the first 10. That's the levels, and that's what we're going to keep working on.
All right, well, congratulations to you both today. I think, Cole, once more, you are the player of the match. If you wouldn't mind doing the honours, Lever.
Yeah, brother. Congratulations. Thank you, mate. Keep saving us. Go on, boys.
Well done.
In a very low-key way, that's about as close as you're going to get to a player saying, yeah, we are definitely in this title race from Cole Palmer. Jamie Carragher has joined us. Paul and Jamie were talking about Cole Palmer just a little bit earlier on, and how much of an impact he has. That's all 12 of his penalties he's scored, which is the best 100% record in the Premier League, as Emma mentioned in the interview. But that aside, just talk about his contribution to this game today.
Well, listen, he gets the penalties involved in the Fernandes goal as well. There's 3 or 4 players around him, and that's what great players do. You fear when he's on the ball. And, I've been watching, loved him last season. He started this season really well, and I think I think I made a comment a few weeks ago that if you look at his almost 18 months at Chelsea, I don't think there's been a player in the Premier League performed better than him over these 18 months. And he hasn't been playing for the best team. I mean, they look like one of the best teams in the league right now. But when you think of Chelsea over the years and the great players, they've had some great attacking players. But when you think of those flair players, I'd think of like Zola and Hazard. I think he's probably done more than Zola in these 18 months that he's done. You know, and Zola's probably going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play for Chelsea. And he's probably on the same sort of level as what I've seen Hazard do for maybe a longer period of time at Chelsea for 4 or 5 years. But right now, I think the way he's going, and if he can take Chelsea to a title, whether it's this season or the next 2 or 3 seasons, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play for Chelsea. He keeps doing what he's doing. He is a very, very special player, and not just in the Premier League, in European or world football.
Paul, it will take a longer period of time for Cole Palmer to establish himself as one of the greats, as Jamie says. But just in terms of that 18 months since he came to Chelsea, talk about the impact that he's had in that time.
Oh, phenomenal. First of all, coming down from Man City, coming down from Manchester to London is a big move in itself, you know, and he's a young lad.
Especially with the trains.
And he's coming to the team, and he's been outstanding. When you first come into the team, you're a young kid, you come from Man City, no one really knows about him, didn't play loads, so you get a bit of a free hit. You know, you play your stuff and people don't pick you up. The last 6-7 months, he's the big boy. You know, the name of the game is stop Cole Palmer. Stop him playing, maybe you might be able to stop Chelsea. He can't do it. And that shows how good he is, because he becomes present in team talks. If you're the manager of another team, you're like, right, we need to stop Cole Palmer. As soon as we lose the ball, someone go and connect on him. He's too intelligent. He gets into space. He's always got space, always got time. I couldn't talk highly enough of him. Everybody needs an X factor to win Premier League titles. You've got to have that bit of something extra. Like today, you know, he gets the 2 penalties, sets and makes it happen for the Fernandes goal. You need that. If you want to win titles, you need to have that X factor, and Chelsea have it with him. 100%.
It was talk about him going on loan to Burnley. That was a feeling that he might do just to get his confidence, get playing again. And I think he's made the move to come down here. And what a move for him. Because it takes a lot. You have to obviously move down from Manchester. He's obviously a Manchester lad. To make that change and come, it's been just life-changing for him, because he's found a club, he's found a good manager in Pochettino that gave him, because I think you need a platform for him, because you have to give him the right tools to just let him play and let him get on the ball. And great players need that, because if you put them under too much pressure or you ask them to run back too often, it's not going to work. What you have to do is when that ball breaks down, and that's why Tottenham was just perfect, because when the ball breaks down, they just kept leaving him so much space. And the things he does on a ball are just absolutely frightening. It's like a throwback of players who are just playing with no fear. It's like he's playing in the goals with his mates, you know, in the afternoon, just playing, just going past people. The game is so effortless for him.
Just before we take a look at the goals, Chelsea and the title challenge, how real is it? How strong is it?
It is real because they're there. I think the big advantage for them is the fact that they're not playing Champions League. So Maresca can almost change the whole team. And when you change the whole team, it's still a proper team. You know, you look at the players who they've got on the bench. I mean, they've got probably 6 or 7 forwards who you could arguably say a first choice in some ways. I think not being in the Carabao Cup might be important if Liverpool or Arsenal get to sort of the semi-finals and the final. But I still look at the goalkeeper and the 2 centre-backs, or Badiashile, who played today, and I just think I can't see someone winning the Premier League with that goalkeeper and without a real standout centre-back. And I think of, say, City winning it with, Ederson and Diaz, Liverpool with Van Dijk and Alisson, going back to Petr Cech and John Terry. Those figures you think that you need to win a title, I still think Chelsea are a little bit short in those areas.
Let's take ourselves right back as they've done in the Premier League since 1996. Dominic Solanke with the opening goal, and Mark Cucurella just flipping all over the place in the opening stages.
The Spurs started the game so well, Kelly. You know, they came out the blocks flying. It was a great piece of movement by Solanke, and the change that he made in the second half, Maresca, because Badiashile didn't look happy on the right hand side, and he changed it there. But what Solanke does, he just gets on his blind spot and nips you in front of him, and it's a brilliant finish. It really was. Obviously, he's got the wrong shoes on there, but what you still have to do is punish him. You have to make sure you get the right quality. Brennan Johnson plays it into a good area, good movement, good finish. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. And then you felt a little bit, this could be Spurs' day. They've got the best back four in place, obviously not got the keeper, but they look like they were in the ascendancy, look confident, look powerful. Then they go 2-0 up, and then you're thinking, well, this is certainly going to be Tottenham's day. But with the way they play and how open they are, it's never going to happen.
And he slipped again, Jamie, in Korea.
Well, listen, you've got to continue slipping if you haven't changed the boots over. When it comes to Kulusevski, I mean, we've seen him score. It feels like I've seen him score that goal 2 or 3 times when he comes across and he beats you at the near post. But I mean, from Cucurella's point of view, the fact that you've got the wrong boots on, that's not sorted before the game or whatever it is, that's really poor. And he's probably lucky that they've ended up going on with him, because that's one that, be really pointed out by their own supporters and the coaching staff. But yeah, listen, I mean, Tottenham put themselves in a fantastic position. 2-0 up, and we're thinking, what a weekend you're thinking of for Liverpool. All these teams we sort of can't seem to get the 3 points in a really difficult position, but can't think the Chelsea for coming back. But I mean, Kulusevski, I mean, when you talk about Spurs this season, he is one of the real bright spots of it, because right now, I think Spurs supporters will not be happy. But look, he's blaming the kit man, he's blaming someone else. I was more frustrated with that. The fact that he looked like it wasn't his responsibility, it was somebody else's.
Well, he went off, he did change his boots, and it meant that he was steady on his feet for the rest of the game, and then caught up with Enzo Maresca at the final whistle. And as you said, Jamie, it was all smiles by them, because Chelsea had gone on to win the game. And he knows how important Cucurella is to Chelsea across the 90 minutes plus that they played at this stadium. How did Chelsea turn it around, though? From 2-0 down, how did they get a foothold back into the game to set that platform up for the comeback?
Well, first of all, didn't make 2 silly mistakes at the back. I think the mistakes went out the window, and I don't think the goalkeeper ended up making another mistake. But they score goals. I thought Lavia was brilliant. I thought he was outstanding while he was on. And Cucurella played well after that. He gave the ball simple. This is a brilliant goal. He's running here at pace. Real pace, and then the way he hits it, it's the way he drills it with bend. It's a brilliant finish, and this is what Chelsea got. They've got X factors all over the pitch. Sanchez hardly touched the ball, and then he cuts inside, and I mean, it's a brilliant finish. And then all of a sudden they're back into it. I just couldn't see anything after that. Tottenham too, but I like Ange. I do. I like him. I like watching Tottenham play, because as a neutral, I know what I'm going to see. And I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I'm watching the game, and it's like we're 2-0 up against Chelsea. Oh, let's just keep on going. It's like we're playing against Kilmarnock or St Mirren, and I'm Celtic manager, and I've got the best players. I haven't got the best players at Tottenham. I haven't got the best players, so I have to change it. I can't go, I'm not Man City where I can go, you have a shot, we have a shot, and we will destroy you like they have over the years. You've got to be cute. You've got to say, right, we're 2-0 up here, sit back, and let's counter-attack. Solanke was ruining the centre halves. He was holding up, bringing people in.
Couldn't live with it.
It was great, but they didn't. They just went, and they were charging all over the place. And all of a sudden, Lavia, the ball come in, and he just hit it around the corner 3 or 4 times to Enzo Fernandez or Palmer, and they're running at the defenders, and you're like, it's so naive. I don't want to have a go at Ange, because I do like him, but it was too easy for Chelsea. And that's why I said at half time, there's no doubt that Chelsea win this football match, because I just know what Tottenham are going to do.
I think Maresca deserves credit as well for what he did. In Lavia, we believe that it wasn't an injury or anything like that. That we took him off. He was excellent in the first half, but he wanted to get Caicedo into midfield, get Gusto as a conventional right back, and he put Badia Shield on the left hand side. Because I think you mentioned in commentary he was really struggling. They looked like they had a lot better balance. And Caicedo, when he went central, just started to run the game. He started too powerful, and Bissouma had a 27 seconds of madness. This is it, really, the first time you're in a good position. It's 59 minutes into the game, you're winning 2-1. Don't make a mistake. And then definitely don't compound it by making another one. But he's not really showing enough pace to get back in there. Obviously, that chance looks like it's gone. And I remember you were saying, Paul, Neto's actually lost that momentum. Then you see him come back into shot, Bissouma. Now you're thinking, as a central midfield player, just be clever enough to get yourself in a good position. But he spots the run, and then he just dives into a ridiculous tackle. Absolutely ridiculous.
Is he trying to rescue the situation?
It's a lot of, 20, it's still a lot of time, but it's just ill discipline. You can't win it. You know what he's trying to do there. He actually slows himself up, Caicedo, just so he can get the touch. He knows he can do that. Just don't certainly go for that tackle. And then obviously, only one thing's going to happen when he stood over a penalty.
Yeah, Cole Palmer, of course, with that 100% record, and they were right back into it, and they were level. And then Enzo Fernandez with a really good strike to put Chelsea in front, Jamie.
Yeah, but look at Cole Palmer here. I mean, new players, the attack players to him. Come on, try and take it off. He's always the ball's glued to his foot. He's trying to get a shot away. And then Fernandez, listen, he's in great form, scores with his left foot. But again, I look at Porro there, and I know the fullback who's there because he's a good footballer. And he doesn't want to put his body there and just block it, and he's turning away. I mean, he doesn't have to throw himself at it, he's there. Just make your body as big as possible. He makes his body smaller. And that, you know what?
Is he pulling his arms in, do you think? Is he concerned
if he goes
about
side
that?
on, he goes side on. Just stand there with your arms by your side. I mean, and players like him and the way they play the game, they sum Tottenham up. You'll watch him one week and look a great attacking fullback and they talk about him getting between the lines and setting a goal up, but you don't win nothing like that.
And again, they were the architects of their own downfall, Spurs, because it was another penalty to put Chelsea 4-2 up.
This is worse for me. Right? You've got Cole Palmer going exactly where you want him, going up towards the corner flag. You know how skillful he is. You know he's going to try and use his body. He's going to try and step across the ball with his right foot just to protect it. And he's going, go on and try and tackle me. He waits. That is so clumsy. And it's just so bad because when you think about it, this was the moment that cost them the game. They ended up getting back to 4-3. Ridiculous challenge, and you've just cost your team. But that's too disciplined by your two defensive midfield players. And that's just beautiful. Isn't it? That's quality. I mean, he's not going to get phased by a title challenge, is he? Look
I
at
think
the
he's got Kukure's boots on.
Yeah, but, it's unbelievable. Beautiful. You know, and that's 3-2. It's not 5-2 or 6-1. That's like 3-2. The game's still banging the balance. I mean, if he doesn't score that, all of a sudden, all the Tottenham players get the bit between their teeth and think, oh, you're winding us up here. And all of a sudden, the game changes. Yeah, it just shows you his confidence, the lad. You can see in his interviews that he's playing completely on top of his game.
We'll show you Son's goal in just a second, but I want to ask you about the Caicedo potential red card in the first half, because on first sight, you were adamant that this was a sending off offence. Are you still of the same opinion, Jamie?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're commentating, before the sort of replay goes on at home, you sort of see it. I can see what VAR are looking at. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, this is going to be a red card. Not so much from that angle, but when you see it slowed down as another angle, he just comes in, nowhere near the ball. And that there, to me, it just seemed like the most obvious red card you would see. I'm just waiting for them, and I'm almost trying to sound clever on commentary because I've seen it a couple of times, maybe before people at home have seen it. I'm thinking that's a definite red card. So you try and make yourself look clever and say, oh, he's going to be off, this is going to be 10v11.
They said not excessive force.
Well, I can hear the VAR, and as soon as he said the word, me and Peter Jordy just looked at each other in just astonishment. I could not believe
Were you amazed, Jamie, that more Tottenham players didn't make a fuss about it? That was a surprise for me. But I think if they'd have got round the referee.
I think when you see it from the normal angle, if you just watch it here, you're not quite sure what is. And there's a lot of bodies there as well. And maybe people didn't see, there's sort of players all on top of each other. But I think when you look at it, and listen, things always look way slowed down. I get that. I mean, if you looked at that normal speed, you're not quite sure what's gone on. But when you slow it down, I mean, how would you judge excessive force? I mean, listen, he's a very, very lucky boy. And that's something I would imagine Postecoglou would look back on at the end of the game.
Remember the one Curtis Jones here a couple of years ago when he played against Tottenham? I don't know if you were doing the game, Jamie, but that was nowhere near as bad as that one. He ended up getting a red card. I think you just want to see a bit of consistency. He's very lucky, Caicedo.
Caicedo potentially very lucky. Kulusevski, lucky not to be sent off as well, do you think?
I thought so because you don't run like that, and that was my opinion. I just don't think you run in like that with your elbow up like that, and you've hit his head. I can understand if he runs in, he charges him and hits his shoulder. I personally think he knows what he's doing now. I think he's very, very fortunate.
100% he knows what he's doing. Running ends up your elbow.
Yeah. As soon as he said it, I said red card.
Maybe, if Postecoglou does complain about the red card, basically Chelsea can throw that one back at him. You know what I mean? That was ridiculous.